Winter is usually the most dangerous time of year for Athel Loren. Cooler weather weakens and slows the forest spirits, and most of them fall into deep slumbers shortly after the first snowfall. This leaves the Wood Elves on their own to defend the forest, but even they're substantially hamstrung during this time. Their king, Orion, is immolated on a great pyre every fall before being reborn in the spring. Without their leader, the elves become overly cautious and lethargic. Insults that ordinarily spur a sharp rebuke are ignored, and threats that would normally be dealt with easily are left to fester. With these trials, it is little wonder that most Azrai cannot help but feel a touch of concern when the first chill autumn breeze passes through them. There is one part of the forest, however, that winter cannot grasp no matter how hard it tries. Here the sun is always warm, the days are always long, and the trees always burst with radiant life. This land is Arranoc, the Summerstrand. Arranoc is a realm eternally held in summer's embrace. Just like the lands of Tirsith are stuck in a perpetual autumn, and Atlawith is locked in the grasp of an endless winter, Arranoc is immune to the passing of the seasons. Time still goes on, but summer never ends. Everything in the Summerstrand speaks to this blessing. Food is abundant, nights are short and pleasant, and the joys of life seem that much sweeter. This has had several key impacts on Arranoc's culture. For one, the never-ending bounty of nature provided by an endless summer has made the Wood Elves of Arranoc unusually joyful and welcoming. They are prone to holding lavish feasts at the slightest provocation. Outsiders that find themselves in Arranoc are invited to these celebrations, and their acceptance is met with great fanfare. Exotic elven wine and food will appear suddenly, seemingly from thin air, and the merriment will begin in earnest. The most extreme feasts can last for centuries, with time bending to accommodate the brief lifespans of humans caught in its aura. Just as with many practices in Athel Loren, however, this tradition of extreme hospitality has a darker side. A skilled observer will notice that the elves engaged in the celebrations carefully regulate how much wine and food they consume. Most of them will leave soon after joining the party, long before their meals and drinks can cloud their minds. Those caught in the feast's snare rarely notice this fact, so blinded are they by the pure pleasure of the event. They continue to eat, drink, and make merry even as their fellow partiers change and the years pass by. Eventually, however, no matter how stubborn their will or strong their body, every guest will eventually fall asleep. At this point, their slumbering forms are taken by silent dryad attendants. The sensation-soaked guests are then deposited just outside the infamous Vaults of Winter, to be fed upon by creatures that would otherwise hunt the elves of Arranoc. The Vaults of Winter are an ancient series of caverns in the southeastern portion of Arranoc. Carved long ago by a civilization older than the elves, it is inhabited by all varieties of frozen demons. Demons of Slaanesh, perpetually hungry for the souls of elves, are exceptionally common within its icy walls. These beasts are normally pacified by the sacrifice of Arranoc's guests, but they can escape to wreak havoc on the Summerstrand when the winds of magic blow particularly strong. These events are particularly devastating for the elves of Arranoc, as the suddenly chill weather freezes their forest spirit allies. Bereft of their aid and swarmed by demons, the normally spoiled elves can find themselves facing extinction in an instant. It was during one such instance that Amandri Dawnspear, Arranoc's current lord, became the being known as Amandri Ironbark, but that is a story for another day. Where Arranoc gets its seemingly endless supply of guests is a bit of an open question. The realm itself is located in Athel Loren's northeastern corner, nestled against the Grey Mountains, Arguelin, and Widrioth. Unless Arranoc sacrifices other wood elves to demons of Slaanesh, it has precious little access to creatures willing to party with the Fey folk. The dwarfs, orcs, and Skaven dwelling within the Grey Mountains are normally exterminated on sight, and they will return the favor at the first opportunity. Unless there's an unusual number of suicidally stupid merchants trying to avoid Bretonian and Imperial tolls by crossing through Athel Loren, it seems that the source of the Summerstrand's sacrificial victims will remain a mystery. When bringing an Arranoc-themed army to war on tabletop, you can bring pretty much anything you want. No unit choice wouldn't make sense, as the Summerstrand's prosperity ensures that there are always blades willing to serve under their banner. You should consider bringing a larger-than-normal force of dryads, treekin, and treemen, however. While not explicitly stated in the primary sources, there's a subtext of weakness within the Elves of Arranoc. They have grown too accustomed to the luxuries of an eternal summer, leaving the more perilous tasks to the realm's forest spirits. By using more dryads in your army, you can represent this subtle shift in culture. If you want to bring elf units, though, you should paint their armor and clothing bright green. The Summerstrand elves often dress in the bright colors of their summertime home, and this is an excellent way to represent that. With the tabletop section done, we have completed our overview of Arranoc. You may notice I didn't cover the realm's leader in much detail, but don't worry, that's on purpose. There's actually enough on him for me to pound out a separate video, so he'll receive his own non-legendary lord video shortly. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in hearing, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, yada yada. You're on YouTube, you're probably sick to death of that spiel. Before I finish this, though, I'd like to spend some time to thank all of you. This is the first video I've made since I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. That's a huge milestone, and one I've been looking forward to since I started doing this whole thing. Your support has been invaluable, and a huge motivator to keep putting out videos. Really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. That's where I'll leave you for today, though, so until next time, this has been Sigmar's Chosen, signing off for now.